some of her jewelry. She knew it. She'd had to sell most of the rest and had been cheated in the price. But what could she expect from the thin-lipped scarecrow of a jeweler? He was a man, after all. Liars and cheats and thieves, every one of them. They would all pay before she was finished. She couldn't find the rubies, the ruby and diamond bracelet, heart-shaped stones, blood and ice that Reginald had given her as a token when he'd learned she was pregnant. It was a trinket, really, too delicate, too small for her tastes. But she wanted it, and tore through the messy maze of her bedroom and dressing area in search. Wept like a child when she found a sapphire brooch instead. As the tears dried, as her fingers closed around the pin, she forgot the bracelet and her desperate desire for it, forgot that she'd been searching for it. Now she smiled at the sparkle of rich blue stones. It would be enough to provide a start for her and James. She would take him away, to the country perhaps, until she felt well again, strong again. It was all very simple, really, she decided with a ghastly smile as she studied herself in the glass. The grey dress was quiet, dignified, the proper tone for a mother. If it hung on her, drooping at the bodice, it couldn't be helped. She had no servants now, no dressmakers to fuss with alterations. She would get her figure back, once she and James found their pretty country cottage. She dressed her blonde hair in top curls and, with considerable regret, eschewed rouge. A quiet look was better, she concluded. A quiet look was soothing to a child. She would simply go get him now, go to Harper House and take back what was hers. The drive out of the city to the grand Harper mansion was long, cold, and costly. She no longer had a carriage of her own, and soon, very soon, Reginald's agents would come back to the house and remove her as they'd threatened already. But it was worth the price of a private carriage. How else could she bring her James back to Memphis, where she would carry him up the stairs to his nursery, lay him tenderly in his crib, and sing him to sleep? Lavender's blue, dilly-dilly, she sang softly, twisting her thin fingers together as she stared out at the winter trees that lined the road. She'd brought the blanket she'd ordered him from Paris, and the sweet little blue cap and booties. In her mind he was a newborn still. In her shattered mind the 6 months since his birth didn't exist. The carriage rolled down the long drive, and Harper House, in all its glory, stood commanding the view. The yellow stone, the white trim, were warm and graceful against the harsh grey sky. Its 3 stories were proud and strong, accented by trees and shrubs, a rolling lawn. She'd heard that peacocks had once wandered the estate, flashing their jeweled tails. But Reginald hadn't cared for their screaming calls, and had done away with them when he'd become master. He ruled like a king, and she'd given him his prince. One day her son would usurp the father. She would rule Harper House with James. Her sweet, sweet James. Though the windows of the great house were blank and glazed by the sun, secret eyes staring out at her, she imagined living there with her James, saw herself tending him there, taking him for walks in the gardens, hearing his laughter ring in the halls. One day, of course, that's how it would be. The house was his, so in turn the house was hers. They would live there, happily, only the 2 of them, as it was meant to be. She climbed out of the carriage, a pale, thin woman in an ill-fitting grey dress, and walked slowly toward the front entrance. Her heart thudded at the base of her throat. James was waiting for her. She knocked, and because her hands refused to be still, folded them tightly at her waist. The man who answered wore dignified black, and though his gaze swept over her, his face revealed nothing. "Madam, may I assist you?" "I've come for James." His left eyebrow lifted, the barest fraction.